Are we good? I don't know. All right. I had my computer crashed. I've been having issues with my computer, so I had to go on my phone. But sorry for that. Let's see here. I don't know if I can see my chat, so let me check that here. But okay, so I'm back. Yeah, technical issues. Isn't that always great? But it's great to work those out first and see where things are heading from there. So let me go. I want to check here and see if I can see. Okay, I don't need that. Let's go. Copy link. No, I don't need that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just trying to see because I did have some people on here, right? So I don't know where all of this is. Or camera, live. Okay, we got that. What's that? Choose a sticker, poll. No, I don't want to do that. Sorry, I'm just screwing around here. I'm just trying to figure this all out. This is all new for me. No, the mic is working. I don't know what that is. Effects. No. What kind of effects? Makeup, lenses. I don't know. All. This is just so. Gosh. All right. Let's get out of here. 49-second short was uploaded to your channel. I don't know what that's about. You know, there's so many different things here happening. And so anyway, my maiden voyage, I think the video already got uploaded for the Clarity Café. So this is a makeshift one because as I said, my computer crashed. So if you're first time here, welcome. I will be addressing this obviously as soon as I can. And so what I was talking about earlier was the whole thing about mediumship, psychic abilities, intuition, and how I work with people one-on-one. And the whole premise, the whole idea of the Clarity Cafe is once a week, every Sunday at 7 p.m. It's just a way to get reset for the week. So basically, if you have any questions, you can ask me questions, and I answer, I respond. And I do this on a much bigger scale. I book sessions with people for an hour, half hour, or even I take on a few people annually. But this is a great place to get interaction happening. And the community is really about connections, community, connection, and compassion, right? Because I think a lot of people are just looking for authentic people. Like, this is the way I am if we were sitting at a coffee shop, right? It's not like, hey, how are you? What's going on, dude? Blah, 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 blah. Right? That's not what I'm about. Let me just see something here. Okay. Top fans. That's cool. Right. No top fans, but that's okay. I was just looking to see if there's any interaction here with, what is that? Green screen. Oh, I got a green screen. Okay, that's cool. Wow. So there's photos. I don't need a green screen per se. What's that? No, don't need that. Got it. No green screen. Okay, we're done. And what's this thing here? Is that light? Lighting is on. Okay, cool. Wow. I got my blue blockers because I got all these lights on. And so anyway, here we are. Hopefully on the replay you watch this. So the Clarity Cafe, that's what this is about. And then I have links on my other, the other setup for each week. There's links to go to my school page, my school community. And school is really awesome. I'm actually redesigning that, but that's going to be more of an interactive community. And I also do the Clarity Cafe there every Saturday at 11, right? So what that is that's, again, you can come in. It's all about engaging, asking questions, but my focus is primarily to guide you and help you. So if you're blocked, you don't have any, way to figure out the sort of conundrum you've got going, I'm here for you to guide you, to reflect back to you, to mirror to you what you're capable of doing. Because you may not have someone that's able to either show that to you. Let's say you've been through therapy, you've got some trauma going on. And as Wim Hof would say, the issues are in the tissues, right? And that's my belief. We can, I like to say AIO, adapt, improvise, overcome. And it's relatively simple. It doesn't require a lot. It's a shift and it's a change. That is pretty much what this is about. I'm just checking one other thing here. Community moderation, automatic chat, translation. No, I'm not looking for that. Yeah, it's weird. I don't see where the chat is here, but that's okay. So again, I'm glad you're here. This is something I plan to do each week. We'll build it up and hopefully get more engagement. People coming in, asking questions. And that's the thing about community, because I feel we're all communal, right? There's just so much distance between these things and computer screens and TVs, and we need to like come together, in a sense where we can share ideas, we can inspire each other, we can motivate, because sometimes I think people get too locked in their head, right? It's all that mental masturbation, and not everybody understands, they feel like they're boxed in, and you're not. And, I can go into all this sort of, let's just say, nefarious or, agendas other people are having. But, at the same time, that doesn't benefit anybody. We want to be able to awaken ourselves. It's like you want to go inside to yourself and do the internal thing and bring out the beautifulness of what you are. How about that? You're like, oh man, what's this guy all about? This is me. It's who I am. This is my authentic self. I love to be funny, goofy, a little bit weird, kind of off kilter a little bit. So, hey, come join the frickin' fun, right? Because that's what life is really about. We're supposed to have fun, man. We're not supposed to be drowning in depression and anxiety and dreariness. We're supposed to be, uplifting one another. And I think if, you think about this, if we were all really, and I know we've all got busy lives, there's so many things happening, depending on where you live, all the different variables. But if we can just come to center, we can laugh, we can slow down, we can breathe, right? We can take time to just listen. And the breath and the ability to slow our heart rate down, our blood pressure, the adrenaline, the cortisol, the norepinephrine, all of these things actually, coincide with shifting our perception and our consciousness, okay? It really works. It's not really something that's heavy duty, right? It's not something that's, how do I want to say it? Like, it doesn't have to be intense. It can be very simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple. And, when you go into that space of grace, it's almost like you're in the center of like the hurricane, the storm. That's known, the center is called the lila, the quiet center space, right? And you just deep breaths in and relax, right? And you want to do this obviously not when you're driving or dealing with heavy machinery, but find your space, find your sanctuary. And one thing I will, I'll just throw out here too, and I think is really important is, I learned this technique a long time ago. I took this seminar, it was called Insight. It was back in LA, back in the, I think 80s, early 90s, something like that. And one of the exercises that we did was really cool. I love this thing. and it was called like your sanctuary, okay? And you know, you close your eyes, right? You just get into this peaceful place. And so some people are visual, some people aren't, and that's okay, right? Um, you know, let's see, try it. Which, so someone give me a notice. I don't know what that's all about. Copy link. Let me just see. I can copy link. I'm just going to send this out to some people. So let's see. Message. Who do I want to message? I don't know. Oh, John. Let's see. I don't know here. Yeah, I was trying to let people know that this, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. It's okay. Um, so the exercise is you go into your sanctuary, okay? And in your sanctuary, you can set it up anywhere you want, right? So, and the way you change things is you snap your fingers. So you just sit there and, you know, so you have a people mover, right? And let's just say your sanctuary, like for mine was on a beach, right? Some beautiful beach. It's this, and I designed the wood, the floor, the lighting, you know, the colors, the art, the utensil, I mean, and anything you want, right? And this is your private space, right? And you get to invite people in by snapping your fingers. So I have a people mover, right? And when I did this a long time ago, the people mover was like the monorail that you used to see at, like, you know, monorails at, you know, those parks and places. And, right, so there'd be a room where the monorail would come in, there'd be like this fog, and then the person that I'm inviting in would get out. And then there'd be like a mood room or a coat room, right? And I'd have like a closet, and I would wear a coat based on the mood I was in. You know, there were different colors: green, yellow, red, orange, beige. There were patterns, right? So I created the closet. There was a relaxation room. There was a patio. All of these things, snapping. And I would invite these people in, friends, family. Part of the exercise was to invite somebody in that you wanted to have a conversation with. Like, say you have a person that is giving you trouble, or you've had some adversarial feelings, or a sibling, a cousin, a relative, a coworker, whoever, right? And in 3D, you can't deal with that person. You despise them, you don't like them. Well, what's happening in this sanctuary is you're creating a space at a different dimensional level, at a different frequency band, right? And this is known as angular rotation of particle spin. To put it lightly, it's just you're at a different frequency bandwidth. You're literally, okay, and this is a body of work I studied a long time ago. I'm still part of, called Quantic Science. It's the science of light, sound, symbol codes, and the base codes of matter. Basically, where science and spirituality dance beautifully together. Anyway, but the whole idea is that there's different dimensions. So we are in 3D, and our consciousness is stationed one level about what we perceive here with our, you know, 3D eyes. But we have other eyes. We have vision all over our body. But anyway, getting back to the point with this, the sanctuary is, so you can communicate with that person because you're talking to their higher self. Their higher self doesn't have the ego. So it's the pure, authentic person. Even if this person in 3D never responds to you immediately, you are making a connection. And the beautiful thing is, it's like when you invite them in, it's like you're asking permission. In mediumship, there's a thing called footprinting. That's the term I understand it by. I mean, many other people may say something different. Footprinting is like, say you leave in 3D, you leave your front door open, and I just start to peek in and I start going around and looking. Well, on an energetic level, that's, you're crossing into a threshold where you don't have permission from the other person. So when I work with someone, I'm always communicating with that other person, even when I get vertical guidance from, let's just say, my vertical family, okay? I don't like to use all the spiritual woo-woo terminology. It just colors things differently. So I get my own cognition, my own communication. And so I don't, you know, I ask permission, right? Because that's the right thing. It's the same thing you would do in 3D, right? You want to go out or do, you want to borrow something, you ask permission for it first, right? So that allows someone to be sovereign. You're sovereign, you get to engage that way, all right? So I invite that person in, and this exercise that when I first did it was quite profound because the person came in my people mover. He got out, jumped up, like gave me this big hug, and this was someone I didn't know. The exercise was like you were given a verbal thing with a person's name, where they live, what they do, and then you invite them in on your people mover, right? And then you give verbal feedback to your partner. This was an exercise, right, that we did. And it was amazing because um, he would come in. I could see clearly what he looked like, his color hair. I described wow, he's like really excited to see me. Okay. Wow, that was weird. I had a call come in and I don't know how that stopped it. Yeah, it's still going. Okay, cool. Strange day today. This is also daylight savings time. So that's kind of weird. But what did I want to say? So, all right, getting back to it. So the person comes in, they're, really, having, they're really excited to see me. So it was quite phenomenal to have this. And then next thing I know, I was seeing other things happening, but I was able to gauge with this technique. That's the whole thing I'm sharing with you. This particular technique, you can go in, you can invite people in that you either want to connect with, even other people. Think about someone, I don't know, just someone you want to connect with. I don't want to influence you with other, people, but family members, colleagues, friends, lovers, husbands, wives, people that are here, people that have crossed over. That's one way. So, and you can do things where there's ways to do it where you create safety too, because that's also, you want spiritual and energetic hygiene. Just as if you were to take a shower and clean yourself, you also want to do that energetically as well. That's important. It's not coming from fear. It's just something you do as a hygienic and energetic hygienic thing to do, which is something I share and I teach with clients that I work with. So, with that's one exercise. I will probably upload a document. That was what my intention was when I first started this Clarity Cafe stream. And unfortunately, I'm in the midst of trying to get another computer, but this one is obviously on the fringes, and it didn't sustain to keep things going. So I had to jump to my phone. For those watching this on the replay, I will add some other links to things. And if you have any questions about either booking a session with me or the school community, that'll be in here as well. But the whole thing here today is to welcome you. I'm glad that you were able to catch this replay. And there'll be more next Sunday. I will do another one at 7 p.m. East Coast time. Uh-oh, I heard something break in the other room. And what else? So yeah, this is what the cafe is about. The cafe is really about getting clarity. And I think that's what people are looking for now. They're really looking to gain a lot of clarity in their life, on their path, what their true north is, where they're going, and how to navigate, because there's so many things coming at us from all different angles, right? I mean, you see it. It's just happening everywhere. It's like from everything we see on Instagram and TikTok and all these different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, all of it. There's so many influencers and people that are, they're sharing advice, they're sharing information. I mean, I think it's good to pick and choose who you align with, your vibe, your tribe. That's similar to what I'm doing here. And, just going from there. That's really what this cafe is about. So it's like pull up, grab a drink, a refreshment, chillax, a tea, a coffee, something healthy. And like I said, if you do have questions, that is, something you should drop in. And I'm more than happy. If I don't catch it obviously here live today, I will respond to you as quickly as I possibly can. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for now. I was hoping to go for an hour, and maybe I'll keep it going a little bit longer. But what else did I want to share? One of the things that I'm really revisiting that I've not done in a long time is telekinesis, like where you're trying to move things, or ESP. I've done remote viewing. That's also quite fascinating if you've ever tried that or looking into that. One guy that I love, not so much as remote viewing, but just talks about it. His name is, actually got his book. It's Sean McNamara. He's a great guy. He's got a book called Mindsight, which is really good. And I think he's got a new one that just came out. Probably find it on any of those platforms that you can find those types of things on. And yeah, I mean, I just, my passion is to help you. That's really what it is. That's what the Clarity Cafe is to help you get clarity on direction, maybe answer some questions, some insights that you've had, you're not really clear, or you even want to fine tune your own intuition, right? You've maybe not had any luck with it. Intuition is a funny thing in the sense that it's actually, I'll tell you, for me, I've always found when I was younger and I was doing a lot earlier work, like sessions with people, it was like, just like I said, everything came on around 1998, 2000. And I had no formal training. I didn't take any classes, really never read any books. Back in LA, I used to go to a bookstore called the Bodhi Tree on Melrose. Great bookstore. If you're listening to this on the replay, you know it, right? If you're into spirituality, any esoteric arts, it's quite the cool bookstore if it's still in existence. But those places and spaces are usually good, to get some insights and knowledge. And but when I started working with people, it was interesting. I had this thing that was like, I didn't trust myself, right? I always had these doubts that I always wanted to give just the cleanest, clearest responses to people. I didn't want to misinform them or give them the wrong information. And, I used to go to channeling seminars years ago. I used to see this woman, Penny Torres, and she channeled this being named Ma Fu. And I remember when Bashar came out and he started, Daryl Anka, which is the musician Paul Anka's brother. And I always had issues with channeling because there's three different types. There's trance, or it's conscious, trance, and out of body. And Paul, or Daryl Anka, is an out of body channel. And there's some issues with that I've come across, because you've got a gestalt of consciousness that's literally blending its field with yours, and that's sort of like it's imposing on your free will. This is my understanding of it. I mean, I respect them and what they're doing, and if they provide insight and help and guidance for somebody else, that's cool. But to me, it's like you have your own ability to channel you vertically, right? You become your own sealed channel, okay? And you literally pull in your own information, but it's at a higher density level than just 3D, okay? I can go into that another time, but that was what my issue was when I was younger, and trusting intuition. And what I've come to find with intuition is that it's these subtle nuances, and for each person it's different. Some people are audible, some people feel, some people sense, kinesthetic, you sense it. But usually, you get a knowing of something. It's like you may get a message like, go talk to that person, sit here, write something about, the messages are short and straight. And the two things that I will tell you that your intuition, that it's not your intuition, is if it asks you to do something to harm yourself or someone else, okay? What I've come to understand or understand with intuition is that it will challenge you, it will push you outside of your comfort zone, right? Because that's really where growth happens. And if you look across other platforms, other influencers, people talking, personal growth, they will tell you, go outside your comfort zone. And with the advent of technology and AI and the phones and the tablets and yada yada, it's like everyone's got things right at their at their disposal. Meaning, like, we have to go do the work. It doesn't have to be hard, it can be simple. And I think there's a lot of subconscious mind programming that we've had from a very young age, at least, as boomers, Gen Xers, I don't know, for the upcoming generations, there's a lot. But for me, that growing up and having this skill set activate in my field was a bit challenging. People on the outside of it say, well, that's cool, you're a psychic, you're a medium, you blah, blah, blah. Like they say, the grass is always greener on the other side, but yes and no. I've come to respect it. I don't claim any sort of level of expertise or professionalism. I'm always looking to enhance and have deeper meaning and understanding of what's going on, right? There's the multidimensional quantum field and is quite profound. And there's a lot that we don't know. And like, what does they call that? The Dunning-Kruger effect. I think when you don't know what you don't know and you try to defend it, I forget the actual, or you know what you know, and then I'm just always trying to, like, I think it's called metacognition. Like, I will observe my thoughts and me talking, and there's like a third position of my consciousness that's watching the two. And I ask a question. I'm like, what are you two really talking about? What's going on here? It's just like, I think that's called metacognition. So I'm just trying to figure this shit out like you, right? And so anyway, I love to help others out, help them find that path. And I'm good at it. I don't say I'm great, I'm an expert, I'm professional, I'm better than anybody. I'm not, I have my shortcomings. It's taken me a lot. And even in this lifetime, it's like I keep refining, defining, uncover, discover, discard that which no longer serves me. And that's what I help you to do. So if that sounds great, hey, I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. I will work out all these technical issues and we'll have a lot of fun, engagement. So this is my, you could say, second impromptu maiden voyage of the Clarity Café here. And stay alert, stay healthy, my friends. This has been fun. And if you have any questions, drop them below. I'm going to throw some links on here for some cool stuff. And I'm going to throw up a PDF of something I put together that actually helps to activate your intuition and your psi abilities, right? And there may be things you know about, maybe you don't, but just something simple, a little gift. And I think I can upload it here. I'm not sure if I can. I don't know if I can attach PDF documents in a YouTube video. Let me see what I can do. Otherwise, I'll put a link for it somewhere that you can access it. So there we go. I think I've concluded for today, right? Yeah, let's call it a day. All right. Cheers.